Welcome, everybody, to the N Word for Nerd podcast. As always, we are going to jump right into it with our top five. We're not even going to intro anybody. I know you're going to see some new faces on here, but fuck those new faces. We're going right into it. Top five zombie movies of all time, our personal list, obviously. So we're going to start off with the newbie because I figured we will make the most fun of him. So we might as well go ahead and start with him and get it out the way. So welcome to the show, my nephew, Josh. Josh, what is your top five zombie movies of all time?
All right, so I got Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse as 5.
That's a good one.
Then I have Paranorman as 4, Zombieland as 3, the Resident Evil franchise as 2, and I have Shaun of the Dead as number 1.
So the only pick that I think we all respect on here probably is Shaun of the Dead
and Zombieland.
Zombieland's good.
Okay.
Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse is really fun.
Oh yeah.
Really
that's
is it top 5 worth? I don't know. But the Resident Evil, I don't understand why.
Hey, this is top 5 from the perspective of a 19-year-old, you know?
Oh, so basically we old as fuck, and so we don't know. Okay, continue. So top 5. So you had the Resident Evil. Yeah, you got to justify the Resident Evil one. That's a tough one, man.
Look, I guess because my dad, he grew up playing those games, you know, when he was my age, so he got me into it, and I'd have to sit down and watch all the movies with him. I just really enjoyed the movies. I don't know. It's like, even though for the most part they're not like the traditional zombie, they're straight up monsters at this point. I just like the nostalgia of like a video game having a decent adaptation, even though it's not accurate to the actual video game franchise for the most part. They do a good job at having the zombies, like the threat of the zombies, be accurate to what the franchise represented.
I'll tell you what, I played the original Resident Evil in a PlayStation and a Blockbuster in 1996, and I still have nightmares about that game to this day. So I was expecting that franchise to be the same caliber of scares, but
yeah. Okay, well then let's go ahead and jump to Jaren. Jaren, let's give us your top 5 zombie movies of all time.
All right. 28 weeks later. I liked it better than 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later felt like a student film on a shoestring budget. And I think 28 Weeks Later, when they realized what they could do, was more of what the creator wanted to show. So that's why I like it. And plus, if there's any argument about a rage virus being the same thing as a zombie outbreak, then we can't talk because they're zombies. Yeah, okay. The Dawn of the Dead from 78, the original, phenomenal. Zombieland is my number 3. I enjoy Zombieland. I think it was the perfect mix of danger and like well-directed, like the way they set up the rules and everything, phenomenal. And I thought it was funny. And I mean, you found out who you're going to call. So, you know, I liked it because Ghostbusters. Shaun of the Dead is my number 2. I love almost everything Edgar Wright. He is one of my favorite directors of all time, and the Cornetto trilogy obviously is dope. And then Train to Busan is my favorite zombie movie of all time. It was well directed, well acted, and there was an emotional crutch that really pays off at the end. It was just all the way through really phenomenal. And
give you guys a little bit of zombie action for people who will watch it on YouTube and other places. Give you guys a little bit of zombie action for your top here.
There it is. And that's
okay. All right. Well, then we're on to the Duke of all nerds, Jason. The only opinion I probably will is respect on this whole thing. So give it to us.
All right. So number 5 for me is going to be Dawn of the Dead 78. You know, it's a great movie. It's it's got heart. It's got social commentary. Everything you want in a zombie movie. Number 4 is 28 Days Later because it's better than 28 Weeks Later. Just period. It's the shot where he's walking around London, one of the most busiest cities in the world. And he's just like, hello, It's great, and it's like the first time you see zombies that can actually like fuck you up. Like they're not slow, shambling zombies. They're the kind of zombies that's like, yeah, I'm gonna rip your eyes out and stuff. 28 days later is way better than 28 weeks later. I'm sorry, Jaren, you're just wrong.
You can be wrong.
Number 3 is The Girl with All the Gifts. That movie is phenomenal. It has an ending that is a great twist at the end. It has a cute little girl who's also a zombie, who's also part human. It's just great all around. Number 2 is going to be the OG original Night of the Living Dead. It started the whole genre. It has to be on the list. It started the whole genre. Has a great social commentary to it. I mean, it's a masterpiece. And the number 1, I of course agree with Jared. Freaking Train to Busan is freaking amazing, dude. When I can't, I'm not going to try to butcher all the Korean characters' names because I don't speak Korean. But the dude was fighting zombies with his fists and taking them out. It was amazing, and it had a great emotional structure to it. Just awesome. If you haven't seen Train to Busan, I don't know what you're doing with life. Just go ahead and go and watch it. It's great.
Pretty sure it's on a streaming service of some kind right now. It's either
on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah. So it's free.
That's where I saw it.
Highly recommend. And they're making a sequel.
They already made a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about later.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Our Cooties and Little Monsters on Hulu, which are great too. But
Little Monsters is really fun.
Yeah, I saw that one. That one was funny.
Okay. I'm sorry that I have to make sure that all you guys are incorrect on your list and give you guys finally the proper list, the ultimate list. I was hoping, I would hope that we would be in lockstep, but no, not so much. So my number 5 is going to be Dead Snow. I mean, Nazi zombies. Come on, guys. It's the dream, right?
You don't have to feel bad about killing any of them.
Exactly. Feeling bad about
zombies?
But
if they're like your mom, yeah, you feel bad about it.
Exactly.
But if your mom's a Nazi, then it's good.
Look here.
Then you're all good.
But Jared doesn't like his zombie movies with social commentary, so that's why he doesn't get the whole emotional threads there. Number 4, we got Shaun of the Dead. I mean, we all have it on our list. No reason to go into that. My number 3 is a dark horse, and I will say, kind of similar to Josh, how he says, I watched these films with my father, so that's why I have it on my list. I do think it's a good film, but it's in my nostalgia bag. It is Dead Alive, Peter Jackson, or some people call it, I think it's called like a Brainwashed or something like that, or it has a different name, but when I got it, watched it, it was called Dead Alive. It is just one of those just regular natural effect masterpieces, so you can't beat that. I'm always going to go for the natural effects. That's why some of my favorite movies are that. My number 2, again, it started it all. George Romero, R.I.P. Night of the Living Dead, man. And then Night of the Living Dead, it goes up there high for me. One of the bigger reasons is because it's the first time we get a black horror movie lead actually quasi-surviving the terror of the horror movie. And I mean, just the simple fact. Go ahead, Jason.
I said he does survive until he gets rescued.
Right. But it wasn't the threat. But also, too, let's keep it 100. This movie was put in an era where we still had a lot of racism and discrimination overtly out there, and he gets to punch a white guy in the face and tell him that he's in charge now. No other black man has ever done that in a horror movie ever. So it goes number 2 on my list. And the number 1, probably the greatest zombie movie of all time, Dawn of the Dead. Not the Snyderverse, not the Snyder trash, 1978, best social commentary about greed being good and how zombies and overconsumption can kill all of us. Just great. He's still the king. He's still the master, even though his last zombie films in Morero kind of were like, but he's still the king and he's still the master. So that is my list. Go in and have at it, Jaron.
All right. You have to at least give that opening scene in the newer Dawn of the Dead, that little kid going down the hallway or whatever, going after her parents. That was terrifying. That's still that scene sits with me. But I won't defend Snyder. I'm just saying.
Like if my neighbor kid was in my house, like the least thing I would be like, "What's wrong?" And he'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing in my house? Get the fuck out of here!" Like we're sleeping. And then it's just her face all fucked up. Like, yo, we need to call the ambulance. What's wrong? Like, I'm not gonna go and hug her.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of my house.
You're better than me. If her face is fucked up, I'm like, you need to go home to your mama. Like, you need to get out of here now. little white girl. You in a black man house, little white girl. You need to go home.
You lucky you didn't get shot coming up here.
Exactly.
Just walking. And this is also like, why are your doors unlocked? That like, I don't know. Maybe you guys, keep your doors unlocked, but like, I have never lived in any place where my doors are unlocked and people just walk right on in. I don't care. Like, even if I live in the safest suburb in the world, like all those doors are fucking locked. No one's just gonna walk into my house, or at least have to kick the first door down.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the real question, and we gotta go, and we'll go round robin, starting with Josh here. I ain't gonna put the pressure on the young man like that. Well, I'm gonna start with Jason, then go to Josh, and then to Jaron, and then we'll go finish. I won't even have a comment here, Jaron, because we argued this enough. 28 days and 28 weeks later, are they technically zombies, Jason?
Yeah, they're zombies. If they have lost control of their cognitive functions, they're zombies. Even though in 28 weeks later, it changes the freaking lore, and they're all up in the daytime at this point. When in the first one they weren't. So that's why that movie sucks, Jaron. Sorry, but yes, they're zombies.
Josh, are they zombies?
Well, I've seen bits and pieces of the movie, but my impression of it was they were almost vampire-like more than like a zombie from what I've seen. That's my opinion.
Besides your Resident Evil take, Josh, you're on the money now. Jaron, are they zombies?
Yes, they're fucking of course they're zombies. Absolutely. Also, 28 weeks later, we got to see Jeremy Renner doing his his
Jeremy
best,
Renner.
Yeah.
His best Jeremy Renner.
No, doing his best Hawkeye before he was Hawkeye. He was trying to get that Hawkeye job in that movie.
Yeah, and he was absolutely useless in that movie, as he is absolutely useless as Hawkeye. He gets gassed to death. Come on, get out of here. And the dude, they let the dude go and kiss his wife. There's no protocols. Like, she's in quarantine. She's like, you know what? You like your movie. It's okay. I'll just never respect your opinion ever again.
Listen, somebody broke it down for me. Whoever has Hawkeye on his side, that's when the Avengers win. Every time Hawkeye is not on the team, the Avengers lose. So
he's the good luck charm.